Alright, we got our fridge. Pretty excited about it.
Yeah, what fridge did we get?
We got the Isotherm something. Alright, giving the fridge a little wipe down. A little wipe. Oh, hi, Bailey. You like the fridge?
It's about to get hot in here. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Alright, now it's ready to go in?
Yeah. Alright, look at that!
Nice. Test fit. Check.
So which way do we want the door to open?
So I was thinking about this the other day. If we're like chilling in our convertible dinette bed area, we just want to like grab a drink or grab a little snacky. This way is more convenient because, you know, we could be sitting right here and just like open and grab something. But if we're cooking, we don't have it yet, but if you visualize with me for a second, our kitchen's gonna be out here, we're gonna do a flip up thing. I think we're gonna cook over here. So then the cooking would be, you know, more ideal from here. But I think we cater to us being over there.
It sounds good to me. That means that I don't need to change anything. At least we don't have to pull it out of a drawer and then lift the top. If it was one of those cooler fridges.
Not to diss anybody that does that, but...
Get wrecked.
But we really wanted it to be easy. The thought of just piling everything on top of each other and having to sort through it and get things out just didn't sound good. So we're making this work. It takes up space and some space that would have been a closet with hanging things, but we prioritized this fridge.
We were originally going with the Dometic CRX 110, but at this point they're kind of discontinuing that and pulling out their NRX line, which hasn't hit the US market yet. So, since we needed something now, actually somebody from Waypoint Vehicles, Garrett, hooked us up.
Shout out Garrett!
Yeah, shout out Garrett. He was super helpful in picking a fridge. So not only is the Isotherm the same dimensions as the Dometic that we were planning to get, but this is 130 liters. We have 20 liters more for the same exact footprint, or actually maybe even a smaller footprint. So, good help. He did the research for us and nailed it down.
Thanks, Garrett. Looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, that's easily like a Costco box of Hot Pockets.
Nice.
Nice. So now we actually got to install it.
Let's do it.
Alright, I'm officially done with work, so that means I can dedicate my full time to building this van so that we can get out of here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, hopefully. So, I'm working on the fridge again. Our fridge sits right here, as you just saw, and I'm building the cabinet that goes over top it. So I did put this paneling up. This one's not screwed in yet, and then here is where my shelf is going to sit. So these are just, what are those, like 0.75 by 1.5 inches. So 1 by 2s kind of. So my shelf's going to sit there, and then we should be able to get that going. So it'll be nice when that fridge is in, because then we will not need to move it anymore. So as far as the shelf goes, I've done some shellacking. Shellacking is very satisfying. Here's the shelf. We had a cutout here for some wires, but it just looks really nice. Like, it feels super smooth, especially after you sand it after your final coat. So I'm on third coat here. I'm just gonna give it one last sand, probably go to like 300, just for that final polished feel, and then we should be able to sit this on those supports that I was just showing you guys. So we're using clear transparent. The alternative is a amber color, but this comes out really nice looking, very natural. Alright, so here's how we're mounting our fridge to our shelf so that it doesn't fall out. So I basically cut out these wood squares with a 1-inch hole saw. This hole saw fits our feet perfectly of the fridge. So our feet are going to sit directly in these wood blocks. So to get them aligned, at least for the rear, what I did was I basically used this little wedge that would make my two pieces exactly where they need to be, distance apart, for the feet to sit. So that was super critical. And then these front ones, they have weird cutouts because there's like hinges and stuff in the way that the fridge itself wouldn't sit flush with the piece of wood. So once the feet are trapped, we're going to keep some sort of support at the top, not allowing it to escape the feet. And that way, any jostling or whatnot will keep it firmly secured. All right, let's see if it fits. So now I gotta lift the back up to get the lobs.
Is it in?
That's what she said. Yes, it is.
Nice.
All my holes are lined up. So yeah, once I get that top little bit, it'll be juicy.
Sounds good.
Leon said I couldn't do it. I did it. As mentioned, there's some shoes for the feet of the fridge. They're mounted to the van. Then we have this top support that's holding it down so it can't escape from the shoes. So I was very fortunate to have basically the perfect gap where I could slide this piece of wood on top of the fridge and stay underneath these supports for the shelf. So that kind of naturally locks it into place. I did add some set screw, or just one set screw in here so that if we ever needed to, well, I guess I added a set screw there in case anything started moving. So I mounted this piece of wood to the fridge, basically using the holes of what came with it for the vent. So I did have to get longer screws by about, what is this, 3/4 of an inch. So it made it about 1 1/4. But they screw into the fridge where this mounts. So my next steps are to finish kind of framing out this fridge section. So I'm planning to reuse this metal vent for the exhaust of the fridge. I'm gonna have to cut it down to size, at least for our dimensions, but I wanna kind of like inset that into a piece of plywood so that it's nice and clean and nice looking. And then after that, I'll work on some paneling to hide this gap, and then likewise this gap over here. So the important thing to note, at least on the hinge side, is that you need about a 1/4 inch gap, because when you swing the door open, I'm gonna try to show you guys this. If I go like this, you'll see that the back of the door actually needs a little bit of space there. So we'll have to set it back about a 1/4 inch, no big deal. And then I think this side doesn't actually need a gap, or it might even be smaller, maybe like 1/8. So we'll just close up this gap and then potentially even add hinges if we need to ever maintain anything in this area. So those are our next steps. Oh, maybe we could check out what Liana's up to. Focused. Looks good.
Decent.
Decent.
Good enough.
Good enough special on
Good
this
enough
one.
special. Nice cabinet door you got there.
Thank you. I tried really hard. Took me a while to stain it. You got something to say?
Yeah, I did it. Don't take my work. I'm in the finishing department.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
So we got this cabinet in finally. So I still need to do a little bit of adjustment, but it's a total pain because we're working with a bunch of irregular shapes. Like, for example, the ceiling's tilted. Our walls might not be exactly the right distance or square. So we're making it work. But I think this result's pretty good. We're just gonna adjust this a little bit so that it's down, and then this gap should be pretty even all the way down. So yeah, it's a pain. And we're doing it. But I think this is the last cabinet that we have to do.
Upper cabinet,
The last upper cabinet. But at least for our galley, which will have cabinet doors, at least I know that's more square than whatever I've done in this area. So.
Yeah. Looks good.
Thank you. Alright folks, so I added this little vent piece. So I didn't end up using the one that came with the fridge because I might have miscut it a little bit. But I did find this little metal bit that I'm using. I did set it into like a slight groove in these little basically 1/4 inch pieces. So this is all cut, painted, and it looks pretty nice. We're gonna close out the video there. The fridge turned out really nice. We like this little trim piece, it matches the face of it. And of course, the finishing department did a great job on all of our cabinets.
We try.
So they're nice and matchy.
Yeah, it's really coming together.
So we're gonna close out there. If you like this video, leave a like. We spend a lot of time trying to put this together for you, so we appreciate it. And then if you want to follow along with the rest of our journeys, consider subscribing.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Toodaloo!
Toodaloo.